Right now in Tennessee, the new effort to track certain people facing a domestic violence charge in Tennessee. Why the new law calls for certain people to wear a GPS device. The tougher change took effect earlier this month, and reporter Maria Guzman spoke to supporters of this change who call it life-changing. Maria?
Yes, John. Debbie Sisko and Marie Varsos were mother and daughter who were victim of domestic violence. I spoke to Debbie's son. He says this law gives power back to the victim.
2 years ago, my mother and sister were tragically murdered by my brother-in-law.
Alexian says his sister had done everything she could to protect herself.
My sister had a safe place to stay. She had a stable job. She had a supportive network. She had reached out and filed charges.
Yet, it didn't stop her offender.
She actually had a gun and was able to fire back on my brother-in-law, but unfortunately was just overpowered.
The Debbie and Marie law is named after Alex's mother and sister. It requires some offenders to wear a GPS tracking device before they're released on bond. It applies to the most aggressive domestic violence cases like stalking, kidnapping, and rape.
And it's my belief that had this law been enacted at the time of their death, they'd still be here today.
The law is championed by state lawmakers Clay Doggett and Paul Rose. In a statement, State Representative Doggett says, "As a former law enforcement officer, I've seen the devastating effects these crimes can have on families."
The perpetrator will have a device that monitors them, but if the victim wants, they will also have a device that will immediately alert them.
The offender is required to pay for the cost of the GPS device for both parties. If the suspect can't pay for the device, a judge can decide if the county picks up the tab.
Perpetrator's responsibility to pay for the monitoring system and for the device that the victim has.
Tennessee is now first in the nation to adopt a law with this magnitude. Now, domestic violence advocates say they expect to hear an update on GPS tracking from now until September. John.
We'll continue to follow it. Maria, thank you.